Hey, what's up? It's Dominic D'Angelo. It's Rumor. There's no logo. Oh, yeah, it's over there. Rumor and Innuendo. And I'm flying solo today for Friday, but hold on. Robert will be joining later on in a certain capacity. That's right. At 1:30 p.m., Robert and I are scheduled to interview Anthony Bowens ahead of AEW Double or Nothing. So that won't be live. That will be pre-recorded, but I will get it up either tonight or tomorrow before Double or Nothing on StudioOneSports.com. So head to StudioOneSports.com and check it out there. I'll also do a live stream, I think, with it all too once it drops as well. So obviously it'll all be a recorded interview, but it'll hit live on our X accounts as well. Let's say hi to some folks in the chat in the meantime before we preview AEW Double or Nothing. Triple E says, well, a lot of stuff. Wow, Triple E says a lot. What's up? AEW Double or Nothing won't be much without Marcus D'Angelo in the ring and Dominic D'Angelo on commentary to replace Excalibur. Hey, I mean, you want to tag me in, you can tag me in. I'm A-okay with that. And Triple E also adds, what up? RVD at 2 p.m. today instead of the normal 9 p.m. That's correct, everybody. Right after I do the interview with Anthony Bowens, I'm jumping over to rvdtv.com. And guess who else will be joining us? Fellow AEW star, MVP. That's right. RVD and MVP today at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on rvdtv.com. If you haven't yet subscribed, go like, subscribe, check it out. It should be a really, really fun conversation. I didn't know Rob and MVP were very, very tight, so it's cool that he's going to join us. I'm really excited for this. I love MVP, and it should be a fun conversation. So, yes, that's today, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, rvdtv.com, MVP, fellow Big Steely Dan fan on my end. So, there we go. All right. Jeff Hanger says, hello, R&I. Hopefully everyone has a safe elevator ride and nothing eventful happened. Ooh, yes, hopefully. Yes, indeed. 6'9" says, the Danhausen curse on the Cavs is real. I mean, my gosh. Holy smokes. You want to talk about that? The game one and what happened there, that amazing comeback by the Knicks, and the folded like a cheap suit of James Harden. Unbelievable. And then game two, they beat the Cavs. So 2-0, might see the New York Knicks in the NBA Finals, something that hasn't happened in a very long time. So my goodness, we'll see how it goes though. Wrestling Old Ed says, happy Friday, everyone. Are we all in on MJF winning at Double or Nothing? I think so. 100%. We'll preview it here. Johnny Disco back in the house. Good day, R&I. And Thigh Slaps. Did you watch Dan Soder and Will Sasso on Chris Van Vliet? Highly recommended. So, yeah, I hear it's a very fun episode, actually. A very, very fun episode. I actually watched a Chris Van Vliet interview earlier today to prepare for an interview I just had earlier on with Indy Hartwell. I just spoke with Indy Hartwell a little bit before this too. So my plate has been full of interviews and conversations today with a potpourri of wrestlers. So the Indy Hartwell interview will be posted next week on StudioOneSports.com. By the way, if you haven't yet, and you're tuning in live to me right now, go to StudioOneSports.com, subscribe, join on that channel, and interact with us over there. That's where all the good stuff happens. I can control StudioOneSports.com. Can't really control the other channels. Like I say, at the end of every week when I'm flying solo, I'm going to get rid of these other channels, and it's solely going to be on StudioOneSports.com soon. I just want to give people the opportunity to do that. So jump over to StudioOneSports.com. It's just a YouTube channel. Like, subscribe to it, and let's get cooking. Oh, how about that? A great week of podcasts with MJF on Hiro Wani and Dan Soder and Will Sasso crushing it on Chris Van Vliet. I love Will Sasso, by the way. I like Dan Soder a lot, too. Don't get me wrong. Friend of the show. I never met Dan, but I know Robert, I think, has. And big, obviously, being Working Stiff. By the way, new Working Stiff is up right now. Check it out. Good stuff. They preview. Scott and Robert do preview AEW Dynamite and plenty of other things, too. So good episode. I still actually got to listen to the whole shebang. But yes, love Will Sasso though. Kenny Rogers, Jackass, him as Randy Newman, singing about Star Wars. Steven Seagal. Big fan of Will Sasso. Big fan of Dan Soder too. And 6'9" adds he's gonna go see Dan Soder in Key West next week. I wanted to go see Dan Soder when he was in Pittsburgh, but that was WrestleMania week and I was not in town. So I was in Vegas and I couldn't see Dan Soder. If I was here, I definitely would have gone and seen him. So good for you. Johnny Disco says, looking forward to the Hartwell interview. She's an interesting post W. She's had, yes, she has, very much so. We cover some good ground on that interview, by the way. We talk about being released, what she would recommend to people that do get released. She had very sound advice, and she reveals who helped her greatly after her being released. Top of it too, we cover just the navigating the landscape of creating content as a wrestler online, because she has her own YouTube channel, Indy does. And I asked her about it because she hasn't updated in a while. And we talk about the inner workings of all that. And she's got a big reveal about what Australian entity has made the biggest impact in America over the past several years. I present Bluey first, and she gives quite the answer. So be on the lookout for that. Johnny Disco says, I think she was released and had a pre-taped appearance on SmackDown the same day. I think you're right about that. I do recall that now that you bring that up. Triple E says, still need an interview of that guy that runs the indies with the deadliest right hand in the world. I think his name is Marcus D'Angelo. Look, I'd like to do a podcast with Marcus D'Angelo. We used to do a show way back in the day at WrestleZone called Get the Tray Tables. And it was me and Marcus. This was before Marcus was involved in the business at all. He was just my brother, who was also a wrestling fan. And so we would cover a whole bunch of stuff. We also did 2 Dynamite Dudes with Attitude. And that was a AEW theme show that we used to do way back in the early days too. So I don't know if those exist still or not. Yeah, well, get on Triple E, get on Marcus and tell him to do it, because I'm always, Marcus knows I'm always for me and him doing a show together. So the onus is on Marcus. They're talking about all the impressions that Dan Soder and Will Sasso have done. The Ventura impression was great. Yeah, they're really good at all that stuff. So, all right. Well, let's check the news real quick before we preview Dynamite here. Not Dynamite, Double or Nothing. See if anything popped up. I know Friday is Wrestling Observer Day, so let's see what's going on here. Former WWE champion possibly returning on SmackDown tonight. Oh, okay. Maybe SmackDown will have Drew McIntyre coming back. That are they in Spain? Or no, he was just in Spain. So yeah, well, we'll see. It's interesting. I was talking with a certain WWE legend, WWE Hall of Famer. They were talking about how SmackDown just kind of doesn't. SmackDown feels like still a secondary show, no matter how you shake it. Like Raw just feels like the premier show, and I had to agree with him. I think I think he was accurate. And even if Raw's not that good, which it isn't, Raw just feels like a bigger deal. I think you think about the platform it's on too. Netflix, it's such a big household name now. It's usurped USA Network, I would say, in so many ways. But even when Raw was on USA Network, Raw just felt like, oh yeah, I got to watch WWE Raw, and then if I can, I'll watch SmackDown too. Oh wow, it still has it. Triple E says WrestleZone still has the Get the Tray Tables show. That's really interesting that it's still up there. Check it out. I don't even remember what we talked about on there, to be honest. But yes, it's a fun little show that we had to do. I always tell Marcus, I was like, dude, there's money in me and you doing a show together, because number one, how many brothers get together and talk about wrestling, on a platform such as this? And, I think it's just a unique kind of niche to have, so to speak. And plus now, even more so that we're involved in the business in certain manners, very fringe in a lot of ways, but like we're still in it, it makes it even more unique. Not that, just the names D'Angelo's are causing any ways whatsoever. Who am I? James Romero? But I do think there's value in the brothers doing a show. So maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the chat, everybody. Wrestling Old Head says, I absolutely agree about SmackDown being forever secondary show, aside from some good to great episodes here and there. Best era being Heyman SmackDown 6. Yeah, Heyman, yeah, I can't remember exactly. Was that when did he run SmackDown? Was that do you mean 2006? I can't remember. But I mean, SmackDown felt like big deals during WrestleMania, like what ahead heading into Philly with The Rock showing up and him cutting promos before, like on X, to kind of tease the episode of SmackDown coming up. I thought that's when SmackDown felt like a real big deal. Like, oh man, stuff is happening. We're getting close to WrestleMania. The Rock is here. And that's when SmackDown felt like big time, a lot of ways. I think when like 2002 as well, when the NWO showed up and they were kind of all over the map and Hogan, it just felt like a really like kind of neat time at that point. And but at the same time too, SmackDown it just feels secondary. I think it's Mondays, the start of the week happens. We associate Monday nights with pro wrestling, so it's just all that's kind of built in. Oh, okay. So yeah, that's what. Okay, so SmackDown was 2002, which was Benoit, Jericho, Edge, Mysterio, Guerrero. Yeah, it was really good back then. I will say though, at that point in time, like that on that the cusp of that, I wasn't into wrestling at that point. I was headed to college, and so I was not tuning in as much. And once Scott Hall left the NWO, got released from WWE, I was kind of a little bummed out, disenchanted, so to speak, with wrestling at the time, anyways. So like I was kind of getting into college mode and thinking about other things. Um, oh, yes. What happened to the Top 1% podcast, Marcus EC3, and any update on Robert V with Nocturnal Knockout? With Robert V, we just have to work out the logistics of him being able to access our StreamYard. That is coming through with, I need to get the help of my former colleague, Zach Haydorn, to help give him access to the StreamYard so he can set up shows. It's really a matter of logistics. I got to reach out to him again. So as far as EC3 and Marcus, not sure what's going on with that. I think they'll pick and choose their moments when they do shows and stuff like that when it comes to that. But yeah, that's a fascinating show as well. Check out those previous episodes. I think they're pretty evergreen when it comes to topics. Helps out the independent wrestlers, and that helps get over some independent wrestlers too that should be getting their names out there a little bit more. All right. I'm going to check real quick. Dirt sheets. I have to prep too for my RVD MVP conversation coming up here too. So won't be here for too much longer, but let's take a look. Let's see. Trying to see if anything's in the dirt sheets before I go into it. All right. Well, this is an interesting thing that didn't get referenced yesterday. I will say before I dive into this too, I was on the media call with Tony Khan for AEW Double or Nothing. Yeah, he was asked about Mick Foley several times. I did not ask about Mick Foley because I knew that that was going to get asked, and I was not one of the first people to ask a question. So by the time it even got to me, everybody covered the Mick Foley questions I had. So he was asked about what Foley's status is basically with AEW. Tony indicated that he's starting on commentary here, and he will be helping people backstage. Then former boss of mine, Bill Pritchard of WrestleZone.com, the aforementioned WrestleZone, he asked, what does he mean? Like, is he strictly commentary, or is Mick helping out in other ways? And will he be there every week for AEW or just pay-per-views? Tony did clarify Mick will be there at every AEW pay-per-view. He will be there on occasion at Dynamite and stuff like that. Not all the time, but he will be there. And he will also be helping people backstage because Mick loves pro wrestling and stuff like that. And so Mick, seems like there's just opportunity for more things for Mick to do. The big question will be, will Tony Khan capitalize on it? We've seen him bring in several names. One name that always stands out is Big Show. Big Show got brought on to do commentary, and he was on Elevation and stuff like that. And then he had like some appearances here and there, and then not used. Not used. And then same could go for Mark Henry, um, and others as well. So I would, like I said before, I think Foley should be an authoritative figure of some sort, a Jack Tunney, where he is the charismatic, legendary, and affable surrogate of Tony Khan, where he's like the Jack Tunney, and he has, he makes the matches. He's the moral compass that fans can rely on, and in a lot of ways, he's a big ambassador. And Tony Khan did say that too in the conference call that Mick will be an ambassador for AEW as well. And I think it's a great move, honestly. Like you get Mick on your product, and he is you may pun not intended, you make Foley's fourth face AEW, right? Uh the fourth face Foley AEW. I think that's the way to do it. I might write an article about that. That just inspired me. All right. Wrestling old heads. A good follow-up question to Pritchard's would be, are wrestlers in the locker room receptive to taking advice from legends like Foley and Paul White? Ooh, that's a good one. And if so, do they seek feedback from them? I did ask people before. I don't think I asked Tony Khan that. Maybe I did ask him like way back when, but I did ask wrestlers in AEW if they're receptive. Some wrestlers. There was a talent I talked to earlier this year, worked for AEW, and like said some do, some don't. And you kind of just navigate the waters that way, basically, is what they said. So thought that was really interesting. And you can tell. I mean, like, I think some talents are intimidated to maybe walk up and approach a legend, or they just don't think about it, to get the advice from some of these legends, which is just so wild to think, right? If I'm in the business, I'm trying to get a name for myself. Why would I not bend the ear of a Tully Blanchard or an Arn Anderson or a Jake Roberts? You like to see what they have to say about what I should be doing to improve myself and to help further get myself over. So yes, good question though, wrestling all that. I think that would be the thing to do as well. Okay, I'm getting Facebook notifications. I don't know from who, but I am. Yes, you can. Really can, Dom. It's true. You can tell there are some that could use the advice to find direction and stand out, in my opinion. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that, like I said before on episode last week, I think like that's what I miss about early days of AEW was the inclusion of legends and like implementing them into the product and having them get other talents over. And it seemed like a really good start for all that, but then just wasn't followed up on and stayed consistent with. Oh, see, like, yeah, Devin Dowling mentions it here. I remember JR trying to help Hangman, and Hangman said, "Nah, I'm okay." Still like, what the hell? Yeah, like, that's it. I think so this was back at Starcast 4. They did media scrums for talent there. AEW talent was there, and Hangman was one of the people that we got to speak with. I asked Hangman, "Hey, what do you think about the comparisons to Barry Windham with you?" And he didn't really care. Like he didn't. He just was like, I kind of do my own thing, and yeah, it's neat that I'm compared to him. I think I'm paraphrasing greatly, but like he was just kind of didn't care, and it's kind of a bummer when that happens. You know what I mean? Good, I mean, good for you having the confidence in yourself to be able to do the talent and have the ring work that you're able to do. But I mean, how can you not embrace like legends of the past and learn from them at the same time? It's like, why can't you do both? You can definitely have confidence in yourself and your own ability, but you're always learning in this business of pro wrestling and in life in general. So, all right. So what I want to do first and foremost is talk about our great sponsor. Yes, you know it. You know what I'm going to be talking about. Guys, if you're a lady or you're a fella or that person that sends you an eggplant emoji at 2 a.m. is ready for better sex, then you should be too. That's where BlueChew.com comes in. They have been on a mission for years to get you bricked up, build your confidence, and help you actually perform in the bedroom. Their new arousal boosting formula, Blue Chew Gold, is helping millions of men have better sex in 2026. While most ED meds only focus on blood flow, Blue Chew Gold goes further by combining the two ingredients for blood flow with two ingredients for mental arousal and connection. So you're not just physically ready, you are actually in the mood to get the type of innovation. This type of innovation is why Blue Chew Gold is the number one brand in erectile function. So don't let your mind get in the way of a good time. Discover your options at bluechew.com. I know I get my own head when I'm getting down sometimes, and it throws you off. Definitely throws you off. That's happened to me on several occasions. So Blue Chew Gold can maybe help you too. And we've got a special deal for our listeners right now. You'll buy 2 months of Blue Chew Gold. You get the third month for free with promo code RUMOR. That's promo code RUMOR. Visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. And hey, we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast. Thank you, Blue Chew. All right. Triple E, I got that worked out with Maddie. Maddie sent me some super chats for MVP and RVD, so we got that worked out. Guys, if you do want to join, I'll plug this real quick too. When it comes to the MVP show today with RVD, we'll be doing our weekly raffle that I just started up a couple weeks ago, and 2 cards will be raffled off. In addition to the 2 cards, each winner gets an RVD IOU. So RVD IOU is you'll get a little slip in the back of these cards. And then if you ever meet RVD in person at a convention or, meet and greet or whatever, you give him that thing. He gives you a free autograph and a free photo. So it's only exclusive to people that tune into the podcast. So go to rvdtv.com and get ready. But today we got 2 cards we're giving away. The one is MVP right here. Boom. Look at this vintage throwback MVP card. Pretty darn cool from the WWE days. That'll be one. And then there'll be this other RVD card too. So these will be the 2 giveaways. If you want to join in, go to rvdtv.com and drop a super chat. A $5 super chat gets you 1 entry. I think it's $10 gets you 2. And then I think $20 gets you 4. And then I kind of do the math in my head to add you up for more. If you pay $100, I'm just going to send you an RVD. I can't do that, but I'll send you, you'll be entered for a good amount. How's that sound? Robert is going to love this ad read, Dom. Yeah. I wonder if he'll like the fact that I said, like, mentally I get in my own head when I'm getting down. It's true. I have OCD. So all these thoughts just plow into my head whenever I'm doing stuff. Doesn't matter if I'm having sex or if I'm doing whatever. It's just, it happens. And then it throws you off. It's like when I have to sneeze and I look and I'm like, you're not going to be able to sneeze. You're not going to be able to sneeze. And then sometimes I can't sneeze because of it. So there we go. Bluechew.com. Promo code rumor. Okay. Okay, let's talk about this real quick before we go into Dynamite preview. So I was leading into this and then I just got sidetracked. JR was asked about on the Tony Khan conference call yesterday, and Tony was like saying that love to have JR back when he's able to. I don't book him for certain shows because like travel can be tough when he's dealing with these health issues. I just want him to get on the right track of health, and I've had a lot of respect for JR and everything. So on the latest episode of Grillin' JR talks about it, gives a health update. This is from Fightful. Ross has battled a variety of health issues over the years that kept him off AEW television, though he says he'll be at AEW Double or Nothing on Sunday, so he's supposed to be scheduled to be there. Speaking on the latest episode of Grillin' JR, Ross gave an update on his health. So this is what he had to say. I'd have very positive doctor's appointment with my neurologist. Everybody's getting in on the act. The neurologist took a bunch of blood and ran some tests. They're worried about dementia and Alzheimer's. I said, what the hell are you going to do about it? And he said, there's not a cure. If there are meds I can be taken preventatively, tell me what they are, and I'll do it. We'll see how it works out. I'm going through a lot of tests right now. I don't feel bad. I feel great. Actually, getting old is a bitch. So prayers out to JR. Such a great, astute mind for the wrestling business, and smart, funny. He can be bristly at points for sure, but overall, like, JR is a legend in the business, and he should be appreciated. Look at this. Triple E wants it here. end the week on a good news. Very excited sound effects. Next Friday, we'll finally have a roof, bed working water again. If y'all at Cedar Point this year, I'll hook you up. Oh, look at that. So Triple E, I'm glad things are working out for you. Yeah, Triple E was going through a situation, so I'm glad he got it. He's getting it sorted out. You get through the storm and you just keep on hammering away. And that definitely deserves. I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. Yeah, one more time. So excited, and I just can't hide it. Yeah, all right. All right. All right. I'm excited. Let's preview some AEW Dynamite before we close on out here. Quite the show lined up. They did announce a new match for the buy-in. So I think Anthony Bowens, who I'll be speaking with in about an hour, will be on that in that opening card here. So let's take a look at what that opening card is exactly. So we have Divine Dominion, Megan Bain and Lena Cross going up against Zeta Steel and Viva Van. It's a 5-minute tag team eliminator match. I just imagine Bain and Lena Cross winning this. Then we have Boom and Doom. That's Big Boom AJ and QT Marshall and the conglomeration teaming up. That's Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, and Roderick Strong going up against Shane Taylor Promotions. 10-man tag match on the opening card. On the buy-in, Boom and Doom and conglomeration will be winning this, I would have to say. Wow, Shane Taylor, Anthony Ogogo's a part of the Shane Taylor Promotions. I had no idea. Lee Moriarty too. Boy, you just don't realize these names are still around. This is crazy. And it's crazy too. I'm going to say it right here. It's crazy too that Mark Briscoe and Orange Cassidy are not on Double or Nothing, the main card. It's like, you think about Orange Cassidy, like what a star. What a star. You think about what WWE is doing with Danhausen. Could you imagine Orange Cassidy in WWE at this moment in time? My gosh. Like, he's got to go there if this is the situation he's currently finding himself in. Like, my goodness. It's just like unbelievable. Like, to have Orange Cassidy in WWE, it's just, and what WWE has been able to do with Danhausen, it really makes you think about Orange Cassidy. All right. So then we have a trios match. That's the Death Riders, Claudio, Daniel Garcia, and Wheeler Yuta going up against the Ops. That's a future friend of the show here, Anthony Bowens, Hook, and Katsuri Shibata. Could imagine, I guess, the Death Riders winning this, but you never know. This is the closest kind of matchup you might have here. Like you want to try to get Hook over maybe a little bit more. Having the Ops lose to Death Riders can kind of create some further story with the Death Riders. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just over the Death Riders big time. Just over them. Just saw him doing push-ups on Dynamite, and right after Mox lost the match, and it just felt like the Goof Troop. It really did. And I like all those guys. Like I've said, I like them all. I don't think how they're being portrayed is making them look like intimidating, badass, nothing like that. They look like a bunch of nerds. Okay, workout nerds at the gym. That I'm just like, why are you acting that way at the gym? That's the vibe I'm getting from them. All right, it's the guys that make noise at the gym and that are just really into what they're doing a little too much. They're not giving me a vibe of a threatening vibe or an intimidating vibe. They're giving me a gym nerd vibe. Not that I'm great at the gym. I'm not. I'm not great at the gym. All right. I take weights easy. I don't really push myself too far at a lot of points. I can be better at the gym. I'm not putting myself over at the gym. But there's a certain type of gym person. If you go to the gym, they're nerds. And that's the vibe I'm getting from the Death Riders right now. That's not what you want to portray for Claudio, for Daniel Garcia, or for Wheeler Yuta. There's my TED Talk. All right. So that's the opening. That's the buy-in. Then we also have the actual show. Kazuchika Okada taking on Konosuke Takeshita. Singles match for the AEW International Championship. It is just crazy because I seriously thought that Jon Moxley was the international champion. That is not the case. It's Okada. I'm going to go and say Takeshita wins this match. That's what I'm going to say. and then we get further division between these guys, and maybe Takeshita ultimately turns completely babyface at this point in time. All right, we have a tag team match, I Quit match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. That is Christian Cage and Adam Copeland, formerly known as Edge, going up against FTR, who are your tag team champions. If Cage and Cope lose, they retire as a tag team. So I think this is when Cage and Cope win. They have to win, right? I think Tony Khan definitely wants it on his AEW history that Edge and Christian were his tag team champions at one point in time. So can't imagine them losing this. Really can't. And if they do, it's not a good move. All right, Stadium Stampede match, the largest Stadium Stampede match in the history of AEW. We have Jericho, solely Jericho, not Chris, teaming up with the Hurt Syndicate, that's Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, and the Elite, that's Kenny Omega, Jungle Jack Perry, Matt Jackson, and Nick Jackson. Wait, Kenny Omega is actually in this match? I had no clue. I seriously had zero clue because I assumed Kenny was out and he was not going to be a factor in AEW Double or Nothing. So this is news to me. And I'm sure he's been on the graphic. I'm sure I've just overlooked it, but they have given me no reason to think Kenny Omega is in this match because I have not seen him. It's crazy. Kenny Omega's in this match? Get out of here. Is that right? Can somebody correct me if I'm wrong? I'm literally just looking at the Wikipedia page for Double or Nothing card here. All right. Well, either way, I'm assuming he's in the match. And they're going up against the man. That's Ricochet. That's Bishop Khan. And that's Toa Leona. They're going up against the Don Callis family. They're tagging up with the Don Callis family. That's Mark Davis and Andrade. And they're also tagging with the Dogs, Clark Connors and David Finlay. All right. Say what you will about the Stadium Stampede matches. They're always pretty fun. So I think this will be no different. I'm sure they'll come up with a lot of fun things for this match, as they usually do. So yeah, I'm all right with this. I'm just surprised Kenny Omega's in this match. I really am. It's like we have not seen Kenny whatsoever. That blows my mind. What? Get out of here, Devin. He was announced on Collision. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's when they announced him. Was that this 3-hour Collision and I just did not see it? Geez, oh man. Oh, you should have gone, Devin. I have 3 different friends going to Double or Nothing. I should have bought tickets. Yeah, you should. Maybe you can find them on the third party. Go to SeatGeek. That's a plug that we're not sponsored by them, but I always find good deals on SeatGeek. I really do. So check it out. Maybe you can still get a decent ticket for that. I would go if I was planning to go to New York actually for Double or Nothing. I just don't have the financial ability to do it at the moment, to make the trip to New York, buy a Airbnb, and go to the show. I mean, I could have got a media credential probably for the show, but like just everything else, all the expenses that go with going to New York, just can't afford that at the moment because I have other plans this summer. All right. We have a fatal 4-way match for the AEW Women's World Championship. It's Thekla going up against Hikaru Shida, Jamie Hayter, and Chris Statlander. So Chris Statlander is making a return in this. I want Thekla to win. I just think Thekla is on a roll right now as a personality, and she's really standing out. So I think that's what should happen. The Owen Hart Cup tournament will begin. We have Samoa Joe taking on Will Ospreay. I'm surprised this match is happening this early in the tournament. Wonder if it speaks to maybe Samoa Joe, like he's just wrestling this match and then he'll be gone for a while. I'm curious if that's what's going to happen. But I do think Will Ospreay obviously will win this match because look, this tournament's going to be all about Ospreay and making it to go to All In Wembley, and probably winning the title at that point. We have the other men's quarterfinal is Bandito going up against Shane Strickland, Swerve Strickland, and yeah, I mean, I just think Swerve will win this, cheat and win. I don't think this necessarily puts either guy in a good position. Like Bandito's your ROH champ, right? Am I wrong on that? He's your ROH champ, and so he's going to lose to Swerve in the tournament, and then I just don't think you can make Swerve lose. You could make him lose, actually. You know what? I'll just go this. I'll go the other route. I'll play the contrarian and maybe the hopeful optimistic. Bandito wins. Bandito wins in advance. And then further this feud with Swerve. Swerve screws him out of the next round. That's what I'm saying. All right. So I think Bandito wins. That's what I'll do. I'll throw a little curveball. Women's Owen Hart Cup quarterfinal here. Athena versus Mina Shirakawa. I think Athena wins this one. She's on such a legendary run with the ROH Women's World Championship. Why slow any momentum down when it comes to having her lose in the tournament at this point? So I think Athena wins this and defeats Mina Shirakawa. This was added on Dynamite. Singles match for the AEW Continental Championship. That's right. This match will have no time limit because Kyle O'Reilly earned his right to face Moxley in a 20-minute time limit draw against Moxley on Dynamite. I like this feud a lot. I think it's great that that Kyle O'Reilly has Moxley's number and Moxley just cannot beat him. I think it's a good character thing for O'Reilly and a good character thing for Moxley. I'd like to see Kyle O'Reilly win this match. I think, if you want to further build a name for Kyle O'Reilly, just have it happen this way. Because Moxley, pretty darn Teflon. You could put him right in the main event picture like nothing after this, and he would fit right in. He'd fit right in as a babyface against this following match we're going to be talking about. Title versus hair match for the AEW World Championship. It's Darby Allin. He's your champ. He's going up against MJF. I think this one's pretty arithmetic. MJF will win the AEW World Championship. He will not shave his head. Darby Allin, they've been telling the story of him just wearing himself thin with all these matches. It fits Darby's bill to be doing what he's doing with these AEW title matches and just like working himself to the bone and persevering and winning. So him losing makes a lot of sense for the Darby character. Just his body breaks down on him, quits out on him, and MJF wins and capitalizes. And then you have MJF's second run here. So I think MJF is your winner, is your champ. Do I have any suspect of surprises going on? I'd like to think something happens, like an appearance or a new debut or a return. But either way, like there's something that is very, very consistent about these AEW pay-per-views. They're long, but they're very good, if you like pro wrestling. And why are you tuning in the show if you don't? So that is one thing that I don't think we'll be disappointed by this card, this show. Hopefully they give some great things to talk about and they make this a lot of fun. AEW Double or Nothing, it does hold a special place in my heart because it's literally, I was at the first Double or Nothing as media, covering it. So 8 years ago, which is just insane to think about. So yeah, it's like I like the pay-per-view. I like it in general. So all right, let's read your comments and then we'll get the heck out of Dodge here. So they announced Kenny last week on Collision. Okay. The answers to all 5 questions that happened on Collision. It's just crazy. Just go to Jake Asman. He's got a big hit online with his latest Knicks post. Oh, I didn't see his post yet. Yes. How about that? Jake Asman, my boss. I work for him for the Jake Asman show. I do social media and stuff for that. Devin Delling says Swerve versus Ospreay is my final prediction. Yeah, I think that's I know I contradicted myself by saying, yeah. I guess. Am I that intrigued by Swerve versus Ospreay? I feel like I've seen that so many times already. And I know Tony Khan, he mentioned on the media call, he likes rivalry, so I could imagine that happening. But it feels like I've seen that like 3 or 4 times already. Even though maybe I haven't, but it feels like that. Give me Ospreay and Claudio. Give me that. Even if I know what's going to happen, just position Claudio as like where he's supposed to be. If you put Claudio in the finals too, that's the other aspect. Is like you can heat Claudio up and finally put him in the main event picture. Where if this is years coming, this should be happening. So How long has Claudio been in AEW, by the way? It's got to be like, what, 5 years at least? At least. It's crazy. It's crazy. Time is flying in wrestling. It's just insane. All right. This flew by, went 41 minutes. And thank you all for tuning in. Like I said, today, Robert and I will be recording an interview with Anthony Bowens here at 1:30. So we'll be doing that. And then that'll get posted either tonight or tomorrow. Probably tomorrow, but I'll make sure that it goes live everywhere when I do post it. And you guys can all enjoy it then. But yes, join me today, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Me and RVD, RVDTV.com, will be joined by MVP. Get your questions ready. Get your, if you want to partake in the raffle, you can do some super chats and have a chance to win one of these cards with an RVD IOU in each of them. So that'll be the big giveaway today and help support the show and get the word out about the RVD podcast because I want it to grow. And dude, actually today, it's 3 years. It's our 3-year anniversary since RVD and I started the podcast. May 22nd, 2023. How about that? So RVD and I have been doing it for 3 years. What a cool time. Very blessed and happy I've gotten to work with Rob and do that show with him. So Devin Dowling says it himself, getting high at 2? F it. Why not? Why not, Devin? Why not? And then maybe while you're high, you can check out some tickets for AEW Double or Nothing. All right. Thank you all for tuning in today. Like I said, you can join me at 2 p.m. again today at rvdtv.com. Me, MVP, and RVD. So there we go. But thank you all for tuning into this, as we are every Monday through Friday on a plethora of platforms, including the WWE Creative_ish X account, the at Dominic D'Angelo X account, the at Rumor, at what I'm looking at, SE Scoops X account, and at Studio One Sports X account. Also, we're on StudioOneSports.com. Oh, you didn't know? YouTube channel for the time being, and the Rumor and Innuendo YouTube channel for the time being until I get rid of them. And then it's just StudioOneSports.com. So, all right. Thanks, everybody, for dealing with me. And I'll see you next time here on Rumor and Innuendo. Best of luck in your future endeavors. And go New York, go New York, go. Shh.